Now, joining us a man who has worked under Daniel Levy at Tottenham Hotspur is a friend of the station, Harry Redknapp. Harry, a very, very good morning to you.
Harry, good morning. Good morning, lads.
Hi, Harry.
Harry, thanks for joining us, Harry. The news yesterday, Harry, we broke the news here just before 10 o'clock. It wasn't really a surprise. I mean, you look at the performance. The performance against Manchester United, Harry, was really, really poor. Things haven't been looking great for a number of weeks. As I say, it's always disappointing to see somebody lose their job. But were you surprised initially?
I was surprised it was this quick, Ali. I thought they might just give him a bit more time. You know, I mean, he walked into a really difficult situation there. Harry Kane, you know, that was all going on when they appointed him. You know, he's really not had an awful lot of time to do anything, has he? They bought a couple of players in. They wouldn't have been his players anyway. They'd been bought in by the director of football, whatever they're called now, or whatever. So I think he should have got a little bit more time. But you know, it's a as we all know, Harry. It's a ruthless game, and Daniel is not a man to mess around. Joe Lewis, who owns the club with Daniel, would have been looking at and thought, hang on, we've invested a fortune in the training ground, in the stadium. We can't have another wasted season. We need to do something, and that's what they've done. But they've done this before. I mean, when they sacked Pochettino, you know, it was suddenly they were on a bad run, and it was, look, we need I could imagine the thinking, we need Champions League. We've got to go and get Jose in quickly so he can get us in the top four. That didn't work out, and now they've gone again. It's hopefully they've got the right man this time.
Are you surprised, Harry, by the level of manager they've been able to get to the football club? Because to me, I think of 5-7 best managers in the world football, and I think Antonio Conte is up there with the very best, and Tottenham have managed to get that over the line. Yeah,
no, obviously his record, Tony, is up there with the best, you know. But when you look at the place, I mean, the stadium is just incredible, and the training ground is. There wouldn't be a better training ground anywhere. It's all in place, 60-odd thousand people every week. It just needs, you know, and probably as a manager, you know, you look in and you think, hang on, they can't get much worse. They're in a bad place at the moment, the team. There's only one way, and that's up. So he'll be looking and think, listen, I can still maybe grab that fourth spot this year. He's not going to get first, second or third because them three teams are on another level. But he might feel he can finish above Man United or Arsenal or West Ham who are having a great year and get that fourth spot still. So it's probably a good time in a way as a manager to take over when the team is struggling.
Harry, how much of a big job is it, this Spurs team? Because you look at where they are in the table, and it's not too bad, but then you've got the Harry Kane situation, that January's coming up. But for himself personally, I mean, how big a job is it?
Yeah, Darren, it's obviously a massive job for him. But as I say, where they are at the moment and the form that they're in and the performance last week, you know, the fans are going to love having him there. They're going to welcome him with open arms. And, you know, the only way, as I say, for him now, really, he'll be looking, I'm sure, absolutely sure they'll finish higher than where they are now, that's for sure. And I think that, you know, that full spot, there's no reason, really. They've got good players, haven't they? I mean, you know, if he can get Harry going, if somebody can wake Dele Alli up, I mean, what a talent. You know, surely there's an incredible player there that someone needs to get him going. If he can get him going, Son, Lucas Moura, I mean, they're full of talent, you know, so let's hope he can come in and get them players doing what they're capable of doing. And if they can, I still wouldn't bet against them, you know, pushing Man United, West Ham for that full spot.
Harry, what do you think? It's a difficult question I'm about to ask you, but what do you think actually has gone wrong? They had a reasonable start, but I'm watching that game at the weekend, mate, and collectively and individually, they just looked lost. I mean, I'm looking at Harry just now, and I love Harry Kane. I think he's one of the best centre-forwards going. But mentally, he doesn't look there. Physically, he doesn't look there. And I just thought they look devoid of any ideas. And from a Spurs fan's point of view, Harry, we know there are ways to lose games, and that wasn't one of them at the weekend.
No, but I suppose when you look back, Ali, you know, Champions League final, and then suddenly struggling, you know, you thought, well, they're going to push on there. They'll challenge again next year for the Premier title. And suddenly under Pochettino, you know, I've got great respect, fantastic. They just suddenly, they couldn't get a result. They're then languishing in mid-table. So he gets the sack. In comes Jose. Everybody thinks he's the man. He's won everything, done everything. He'll get them going. He couldn't get a tune out of them. They get knocked out the Europa League or by, I forget the name of the team now, but I'd never heard of them. I mean, they were, it was incredibly bad result away from home, and they got knocked out. And the league form was terrible. He couldn't get a tune out of them. In comes Nuno. He's got the same problem. Well, Conte's the fourth one now, so let's hope that he can liven them up a bit. But he'll change a few around, I'm sure. They'll bring a couple of players in. He's got the Italian guy with him who was at Juventus with him. Yeah. They'll have their eye on a couple of players that they feel can make the difference, and there'll be some changes for sure.
I've always looked at Conte as a formation manager where he will change to suit the players. And I look at their wing-backs and think they could go three at the back, Harry, and have certainly Regal on one side and Royale, the other Emerson Royale on the right. I think they can really change around their system and benefit the whole team.
Well, that was the system he played so successfully. He won it at Juventus. He came to Chelsea and played. I remember seeing his first couple of games at Chelsea, and I couldn't believe he went to a back four because he'd been so successful, and then suddenly he changed that and then went on and won the title with them. And he's got the boy Doherty, hasn't he, who can play right wing back as well, very well. That was his position at Wolves. He might get a chance if he goes that way as well. But I think he will. I think he may end up looking at it and think, yeah, that's my system. That's how he likes to play. Listen, Chelsea changed, didn't they, last year? And look where it took them in the end. They went and played three at the back. It worked for them. So honestly, I'd be surprised if he didn't play that way.
Harry, obviously in January coming up, can you see Daniel Levy giving him, because there's got to be some assurances that there's got to be money to spend. Could you see him? There's reports that it could be anywhere from 100 million upwards in January. Can you see that?
Yeah, I could. Down here, I can see him spending money. I don't think he'd have come unless he felt he could improve the team. I would think that's one of the provisions in him coming that provides those. He's going to be able to make some changes, bring some players in. Listen, they're not a poor club. Joe Lewis, you think we don't realise just how wealthy the owner of Tottenham is. I mean, he's up there with the richest men in the world, so they can afford to bring players in. And I think they will do that for sure. I can see them definitely making a few changes.